JMA, it's the anniversary of our first inaugural class 7 years ago. So we are working on a decade of doing business. And shout out to Tulsa Real Estate Fund as we have declared Dividend Day. And don't try to read what's behind me. It's not for you to read yet. All good, take your time. Pile on in. Come get this legacy energy. Come get this glow. Let's talk about Dividend Day. Let's talk about Legacy Day. And let's talk about JMA Day. All today in one day in real life. Shout out to all my light bearers. Peace to you. King Gene, HF Productions is getting us set up. Queen Ernestine Morrison behind the scenes, Queen Maggie behind the scenes, right here at the Black House from Black Mecca with a black mayor, black woman mayor, queen, here in East Point, Georgia. Pile on in. If you haven't gotten it by now, read The Solution, How Africans in America Achieve Unity, Justice, and Repair. This book is the foundation of much of our work and has been a blueprint to some things we're going to be discussing today. So again, we're waiting for the rest of our channels to go up. We are fired and ready. I'm waiting for the cue from the key producer. Thank you guys for joining in. All right, let's get this officially started. So live streams, I'm going to be focusing probably on this camera, so pardon me. But let's get this thing going. So live and direct from the Legacy Center, AKA the Black House, here in East Point, Atlanta, Georgia. We are going to be presenting to you guys the epitome of legacy over lifestyle. And I'm going to just bring us up all the way to Dividend Day and what January 8th means to us holistically, right? So in my hand is my book, The Solution, How Africans in America Achieve Unity, Justice, and Repair. And the reason why I have this book is because in this book, we wrote out a strategy for our political unity. And earlier this year, we launched the Black Rights Party, a political action committee, to back up what we wrote in this book. In this book, we talk about our economic exploitation and how we can gather together and create power, economic power together through group economics. And in 2015 to 2017, we talked about the Tulsa Real Estate Fund when it was a concept. We brought that to life. We'll talk about more about that. Also, in regards to our economic empowerment, we talked about the J. Morrison Academy and other financial institutions to teach us about wealth education and financial principles we didn't learn in school, many of us didn't learn at home, and we cannot even get in college, right? So we've been doing that work since 2014 with JMA. And then we talk about in this book how to end our social degradation, which is us not just stopping to degrade ourselves, but literally reverse engineering and elevating ourselves, practicing self-love, self-edification, dignity, regard, like basic principles, respect, like basic grandma principles, right? And when we talk about the spirit of Black Wall Street, in which Tulsa Real Estate Fund is named after, the spirit of Black Wall Street was about a self-sustaining Black community that was economically empowered, but that community also had to have great relationship together in order to build up over 2,000 homes and businesses on 36 square blocks, 40 acres of land in just 15 years. So I believe that is the true solution to our unity, justice, and repair. The root starts with us. It starts with us as a community. It starts with our families. It starts with our relationship with our spouses and significant others, our relationship with ourselves, and our relationship with our God. And so with those things, we build strong relationships. We build proper love, self-love. If I love myself, then I can love my wife. And if I love my wife, I can love my children. I can love my children. I can love my community. I love my community. We can build a nation, right? So those are the principles in which I believe and have been working towards and constantly self-reflecting and growing towards those things. So when I say shout out to my light bearers, what I'm saying is those people who want to carry forth positive energy and light and productivity towards building a better Black community, overall a better nation and a better world, right? That's the level and the spirit and frequency that we're on. So I want to encourage you guys to get The Solution, How Africans in America Achieve Unity, Justice, and Repair. It'll give you some backstory on my journey to activism. It'll give you a history lesson on our political oppression, economic exploitation, and social degradation, but also provide specific solutions that we've already taken action to and for in real life. And we're going to be experiencing some of those solutions and talking about them today as we have manifested those things through hard work, grace, mercy, and just determination, right? Self-determination. So today, January 8th, is a very special day for me and over 300,000 folks who have been a part of the J. Morrison Academy. That was my first act of economic activism. It was teaching and preaching in the streets, teaching in the prisons, teaching in juvenile detention centers, teaching in the high schools, bringing financial literacy to every corner of the earth, or at least every corner of the hood, right? And so for the last 7 years, we've been on a mission to make wealth education more affordable, more relatable, and more accessible. And we've done that with multiple partners, multiple staff members, educating hundreds of thousands of students, hosting 65 free corner classes in 32 cities, executing our Inmate the Real Estate program, teaching inmates in jail, literally going behind the bars, going behind the walls, and teaching inmates, going into Cooks County Juvenile Detention Center, teaching the young men, going into Jamesburg Juvenile Detention Center, teaching the young men, going out and hosting a 24-hour corner class here in Atlanta, Georgia on the West End, teaching 12 classes in 24 hours, never leaving the block. So this is the level of commitment and sacrifice that we've had towards our community repair, towards our economic development, and towards this economic revolution and economic liberation, right? So the J. Morrison Academy, that spirit and that education is really the root of the Tulsa Real Estate Fund to even get us here to the Legacy Center. It was through that service, that community service, that grassroots work, the online classes, over 1,000 YouTube videos, right? All the curriculum, workbooks, textbooks, RBC programs, wealth mastery programs, beginners programs, the new Cash Buyers Academy program, the easy funding program, the credit services. It's all of that we've offered and contributed towards the advancement and the upliftment of our community and economic revitalization of our community. And from building this strong community under the J. Morrison Academy through grassroots work, and I want to show some of the fruits of our work. This here is a plaque from the city of Detroit for our corner class tour from District 5. They awarded us some recognition in Detroit. Shout out to the D. We've been on both the west side and the east side of Detroit, teaching in the streets. This here is a plaque from the Inc. 5000, where we made number 588 fastest growing companies in the country, 2 years in a row. The second year, we were top 10 educational companies in the country. Again, this is all from work, having a vision and following our purpose. So just some things from the J. Morrison Academy. And from the J. Morrison Academy, we were able to build up in the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. And here at the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, we have a plaque. We've made history multiple times. We have a plaque here from the city of South Fulton, one of the blackest cities in America, with a proclamation where in October 23rd, is officially Tulsa Real Estate Fund Day. Tulsa Real Estate Fund, the historic Tulsa Real Estate Fund, has its own day in the city of South Fulton, right? And then we go into January 8th, the Legacy Center, where we have our own day here at the Legacy Center. January 8th is Legacy Center Day here at the city of East Point. So I'll give you that backdrop to say we've been living legacy over lifestyle. We are excited about bringing forth real fruit and real work and real results and manifesting new things for our community. And one of the biggest announcements outside the anniversary of the J. Morrison Academy today, outside of Legacy Center Day that we're doing digitally now and virtually because of obviously the pandemic. Last year we had a major grand opening, but we invite you here to be a part of our building, legacycenter.com. And we invite you to be a part of our school, jmorrisonacademy.com, and cash, right? But now we're going to talk about one of the bigger things that we've all been excited about, and that is the announcement of our declaration for dividend payout for the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. So let me get into teaching mode, and this is specifically for my Tulsa Real Estate Fund members and partners. I understand the general public has much concern and interest, but right now we're really minding our own business. This is for folks that have actually invested, who own shares and member units and who are part of our company. I want to give you clear perspective of what it means to have this dividend declaration and the amounts that are going out and the payout, and how you understand that if you are a non-accredited investor or an accredited investor, but who just doesn't have the clarity on this investing model or how a dividend payout works. It might be your first time investing, right? So, where's my black marker, King Gene? Here it is. Okay, cool. So on this side of the board, dividend day lesson, right? Boom. On this side of the board, you've seen a post we put on Instagram. Tulsa Real Estate Fund is going to be paying a cash dividend of over $390,000 to more than 14,000 investment partners. So in some of your logical minds, you might say, well, let's just divide that 390 number, divided by the 14,000 partners. That should equal to everyone gets $27.85. That is not the case. That is not true. That is not how a dividend payout works. I'm going to give you some game and education today on how it actually works, right? So what happens is when you make a dividend declaration, right, you go through this long process of finding out and reconciling your cap table of how many actual shares that you have outstanding, right? So you find out your total shares outstanding, or TSO, which we've done, and we're still, there's an asterisk here because it's still moving around a little. As there's a few investors, we got to make sure we reconcile their account and make sure they're fully registered to this date. But you find out your total shares outstanding, and then you find out what actual number you have of distributable dividend cash, and then you divide your shares outstanding by that amount of distributable cash, right? So when you do that, you find out exactly how much cash you have to distribute per share, not per investor. Because remember, we have some investors that have 500 shares, and we have some investors that have 10 shares or 50 shares. So the way you calculate the dividend payout is you find out your price or payout per share, and then per share you then multiply times however many shares that you own. And that is your dividend payout or cash amount, right? So we've been working towards this. And remember, for our investors and our partners, you get an 8% preferred return that accumulates, right? So this accumulates every year. So as we pay more and more dividend, we are essentially chipping away at that accumulated amount. Some of you are new and only been in the fund for a few months, so you're already getting a dividend based on your investment time period and your amount of shares. Some of you have been with us a couple years and you're getting your dividend based on your couple of shares, but again, it's going towards your total cumulative, right? The amount that has added up for the time that you've been investing with us, it goes towards that amount, and we keep, as we pay more dividend projected in the future and continue to perform, we start, again, catching up on that 8% and then superseding that, hopefully, to profit share, right? So you take your 176 times your shares, that's your shares. I did some Google searching, just looking at the perspective, because 176 per share could seem like a small number. I've seen comments from our investors, I only get $1.76. Well, remember, it's times how many shares that you own, right, in the company, how many member units. But then we also have to understand, if you're new to investing, because we have other investors in our fund and partners who are like, this is awesome, this is great, this is a decent payout. And they may be a little more versed in financial institutions and dividends. So although our company is not a publicly traded company, so it's not exactly apples to apples, I want to give us some context that some Fortune 500 companies and Fortune 100 companies and some of the biggest companies in the world that have 10 and 20-year histories, 30 and 40-year histories with billions of dollars behind them, pay dividends like Coca-Cola, $1.64 annually. That's $1.64 annually for the whole year. Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola. You have companies like Apple, the Apple, yes, paying 82 cents dividend annually. You have companies like Johnson & Johnson paying 95 cents for their first quarter. Again, they are different kinds of companies than ours. We are a company that's about 31 months old, a little over 2.5 years. We are just a startup, black-owned business. And I feel that if we are in the spirit of black progression, black ownership, black group economics, living out our ancestors' dreams, that there should be some form for us. I know for most of our members and partners, we are happy. We are in a form of, we know we got more work to do, but we're definitely celebrating our inaugural dividend for a startup company that started from scratch. So these are things we should be excited about because they're all steps towards progression. For a community that's been oppressed and depressed and demoralized and dehumanized for over 450 years every year on year, I believe, my contention is that any steps towards financial progression, towards financial liberation and ownership and power and control and owning our own institutions, those things should be celebrated, or at the least, those things should be edified, uplifted, or respected. Because all we're doing is doing the work as opposed to pointing our finger saying someone else didn't do it, or who didn't leave what behind for us, or who we don't want to partner with, or what other institutions or other communities are doing. We have taken our 14,000 plus members. We have taken the opportunity to do for ourselves and to take some chance at actually financially advancing. So 3 important things you need to know. 1, January 6, 2021 was our Dividend Declaration Day. All of our investment partners have till February 1st to make sure that you fully register for your account to get an expedient dividend payment on which is our record date. February 1st is our date of record. That means we had to have all your information in by February 1st, and we want to encourage you to register for your account so that when you get your payment, it's an ACH payment, it's efficient, it's quick, and it's cost effective for you. We don't want you to lose on that dividend payout by you having to pay for mail and other forms of dividend payout, right? When you can have it electronically done for free. So we want everyone to register by February 1st, our date of record, to make sure that you are in position for an expedient and efficient dividend payment. Then, on February 12th, 2021, we will have our dividend payout date. That is the date of the dividend payout during Black History Month. We will be paying out the inaugural dividend for the first Black-owned real estate crowd fund in the history of America, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, named after the historic community of Greenwood, Black Wall Street, in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I'm super excited to announce on Legacy Center Day, in an all-Black building owned by by a Black-owned company in a city with a Black mayor, that we can announce a dividend day on the anniversary of a Black-owned education institute. We can announce when our dividend day payout will be, and we can declare that to the world and to our community, and most importantly, to our partners, to our members, those who actually believed in the mission and the vision, who put their money where their mouth is, those on the founder's wall or a future founder's wall. We appreciate you. We love you. We love all of you and appreciate all of you. But to our partners, there is a special appreciation because we came together to not make excuses, to not ridicule, but to uplift, but to build. And this is just one small step. I know there's more work to do. This is a small step. This is not the greatest step in the world, but we are excited to not, through a pandemic and through COVID and through all the challenges of the world, we're still standing here on a dual day of anniversaries and still standing here and declaring a dividend payout to the world during Black History Month in 2021. This is the largest act. This is a fact. No matter how you may want to spin it or receive it, this is the largest act of equitable group economics successfully executed from a payout perspective from a company owned by this many people in a Black-owned company to make a distribution that has this mission and this vision. This is the largest act of that progress, certainly in our lifetime, if not ever, in the last 100 years. So I said enough. We don't got to belabor and go long. To our partners, if you have questions, email info@tulsarealestatefund.com. Again, your emails break down in a newsletter exactly how you start to register for your account and more information on our press release. We'll be doing a town hall going over how to properly register for ComputerShare and make sure your account is set up for the record date. Look out for those email communications for a town hall in the next 5 to 7 business days. But again, we, on behalf of myself, my wife, the Morrison family, our entire staff, and all of our partners, we appreciate you. We love you. Let your light shine, right? These are steps of progress forward. That's all I can say. Progress is a slow process, but it beats a blank. It beats nothing. It beats being stagnant and staying still. And I'm just happy to be a part of this company with these partners and us all working together to continue to prove this concept. And in years to come, we want more funds to come behind us, and we want to be able to be an example and be able to offer the blueprint to how we can own more financial institutions, to have more ownership, more equity, and more control of our black dollars. Thank you guys for listening here on January 8th. Shout out to all my J. Morris Academy students. Shout out to all Legacy Center members. Shout out to all of our staff. Shout out to all our Tulsa Real Estate Fund partners and members. We love y'all, man. We out. Have a great day. Blessed week.